Alright, so today I'm just working on this electrical because I do want to ride it before I start tearing this bike apart. So I've got about 4 weeks, about a month. It's September 6th, I think. So I'm going to plan on starting the restoration on this on October 4th. So I've got about a month, but the electrical system in this thing is just crazy. It's ridiculous that, again, another bike where people just didn't know what they're doing. I've got no power at all to these three circuit breakers. The bike it turns over, whether it starts or not, I don't know. I've got the carburetor off right now. I put the bowl and everything in the cleaner over there to clean that. The bottom of the bowl was completely varnished. I just checked it. All the varnish is gone. I've got a rebuild kit coming in today with a new gasket and some new jets. It does turn over. I think the Bendix in here is messed up because you can hear it kind of grinding a little bit, like it's not making contact with the ring gear all the way. So once I get it started, we can take it out for a little ride. I mean, right now I don't have any tail lights. I don't have any brake lights, turn signals. I don't really need that because it's not registered for one thing. So I'm just going to go up and down the street with it. I'll put my plate for the FLH on it. If I get pulled over, they probably won't know the difference between a 76 and an 81. Yeah, so I took the plugs off. I was going to scope the cylinders, but because the plugs are so fouled, they're actually black. This thing was running so rich that I think there's probably just a ton of carbon on the top of the pistons that I'm never going to see if there's anything done to them anyway. Another problem I found out was I need to get behind the coil because a lot of these wires, there's no terminal block behind here like there is on the FLH. There's just like these type of clips everywhere on here. I do have a wiring diagram, so I'm trying to trace some of these lines, but I need to get behind here. So whoever did this, when they put this coil cover on, they put it on before they put the oil tank in, and instead of putting bolts in, I don't know if you can see it, let me get a light. I don't know if you can see this or not, but right in there they put flathead screws in there instead of bolts, so you can't get it out really. I mean, there's no way to get a screwdriver in. I tried to get a pair of needle nose pliers on there, they don't want to fit. I've tried forceps, they barely fit. And the same thing with the bottom, they put a screw in it, so you can't really get from underneath it that well because the solenoid's in the way. So I don't really know what these people did to this bike. It's just crazy the amount of stuff that people do that actually don't know how to work on anything. I did take the panel off. The light fixture had popped down, so I put that back in. I don't see anything under here except a clip, and that's clipped up. I need to get behind here. Again, because I got no power to these. There is continuity. I've checked all three of these, so I know they're good, but I'm not getting power at all to any of these three things. How the bike is even turning over without power to these, I don't know. Everything is supposed to run through these circuit breakers, so there's got to be maybe another circuit breaker down here or something. I can't see in there because, again, they jammed everything up. They've got, again, wire, electrical tape around everything around here. These kind of connectors everywhere. It's like this is going to need a complete rewire too. I've already looked at getting a wiring harness. There's actually only two wiring harnesses for this. There's not three like the FLH, because I said there's no terminal block. If you look in there, there's no terminal there. Everything just kind of clips in with these type of, obviously bigger clips. But anyway, let me see if I can get this coil cover off, and I'll come back to it. Okay, I got the cover off. It looks like, what I'm gathering, I don't know if these are supposed to be grounded or not. Let me see if I can get this where it's gonna show. I need a good ground somewhere. So I was getting power to all three when I not grounding these out, but if I test it, let me see if I can hold my hand and do this. Okay, so if I ground the other side of this out, I am getting 12 volts on all these circuit breakers. So I'm wondering if these need to be grounded. I am getting down on the coil. Whoops, it fell down. All right, that's not going to work. So I am getting 12 volts down at the coil. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a bad ground somewhere that's stopping these lights from working, because I got headlights, I got dash lights, I got the tail light, but I don't have any brake lights, front or rear. So there's going to be something that all ties in to that, which I think is probably going to find out it's going to be a bad ground. So let me look at this a little bit more. Okay, got my ultrasonic cleaner going. That was completely varnished, so it came out really nice. I got the top bar going. I need a bigger cleaner because that can't even shut the cover on it. But anyway, that came out pretty good. So we'll put that over on the bench and just wait for the kit come in to do the gaskets, and we can get that back on. Okay, so I think I solved the problem partially anyway of the rear brake light switch. It could be a faulty switch. I just crossed the lines with it on and the brake light came on. There's another thing I noticed too, is that this rear caliper has 2 bleeders. Obviously this is not a stock caliper. I don't know who makes this. There's no markings on it. But I'm going to check the fluid. I do have rear brakes when I was rolling it around, but that doesn't really mean anything. But I might have an extra stoplight switch that I took off the shovel that might still work, but as long as I have one brake that has the light works, I'm fine with that. Again, I'm only going to be riding it up and down the street, but if somebody comes up behind me and I have to hit the brakes, I want to let them know that the brakes are on. So let me take that stupid cover that they have off over here, and we'll check the brake fluid for the rear brakes. All right, let's take this cover off. And I hate these covers, they're junk. Look at all this shit around there. Jesus. What the fuck? I have no idea what all that crap is. Let me get a screwdriver and we'll check the fluid level. Wow, that's pretty nasty in there. Yeah, look at that.
Uh-oh.
That's pretty bad. This line is going to have to be flushed out if I want to ride it, so I guess we'll be doing that now. I'm going to have to pull that off. Damn it, I didn't want to have to do all this work before I just take it down up and down the street, but look at it, it's all junk. Yeah, that's got to be all flushed out. I'm probably going to end up having to take the master cylinder out if I want to use it, because I'll bet the line is like that too. Damn it. Okay, so we got the front off. The front doesn't look too bad. It's low, but it says right on the cover, use .5. So I guess what we'll do, we can bleed the front, and the rear is like a lost cause. I'm not even going to try to do that. The whole line's going to be flushed, and everything is so much gunk in there. So let's see if we can bleed the front. Okay, so I sort of rebuilt the carburetor. I cleaned it all out. I ran it through my ultrasonic cleaner. The whole bowl was completely varnished. I cleaned it out nice. I do have a master rebuild kit for it, but I'm not going to go through all that now. I cleaned the jets out. I just want to see if we can get this running. I just did a test from the rear cylinder with a tester I have. So we are getting spark to the plugs, but let me show you what these plugs look like. I'm going to have to clean them because they're terrible. Whoever ran this bike ran it really rich. That's why I doubt that I'm going to be able to see. So if you look at that plug, that thing is ridiculous. Anyway, if we can just get it going, that's all my goal is. That's all I care about right now. There's no way that I'm going to be able to ride this with the way the brakes are, and
I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time flushing out lines and all that other stuff because I got to get the FOH finished so I can get that off the table. Here's the other plug, same thing, it's all messed up. So let me clean these off as best I can and then we'll try it. Okay, cleaned them off as best I could for now. Again, just the whole goal is just to get it started. I'm not worried about letting it run for any amount of time. I just really want to hear this motor before I take it apart. All right, we're gonna try it. Just a warning, the starter does not sound pretty on this. It's either the Bendix or the ring gear is messed up. Ignition. All right, let's try it. You can hear it slipping. It's probably the Bendix. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Well, let me adjust the idle on this a little bit. That was too much. Well, it runs. Probably got to adjust the carburetor a little bit. Burning off all kinds of oil that's on the pipes. Well, it runs. That's all I really wanted to do for now was to hear it run. There's another bolt that fell off somewhere. I don't know where that went. Probably, you know, if I'm rebuilding the carburetor the way it's supposed to be, I just kind of cleaned everything out. Maybe a jet's clogged, maybe it's got an intake leak. I don't know. It's sputtering and coughing. It could be the plugs are all shit too. Because these 81s have electronic ignition. They don't have points. So could be a bunch of different things. Who knows?